There is obviously some difference in the way the Japanese conduct themselves and the way Chinese conduct themselves in the present era. There was definitely some amount of a difference. Why exactly that so many people in this present era now go on to see Nehru and Gandhi as one of the most hated persons in the entire of the history of the country, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee on another hand? There is a way that most of the leaders will go on to make a and seek a comparison between Nelson Mandela and that of Joe Biden. There will be always some amount of a comparison that will go on to be made between that of knowledge and the facade of knowledge. And of course, there is a certain way in which it is considered that why is it that Sanatan is superior? Why is it that Sanatan is so different from that of Christianity and Islam? This has all to do with simplicity or complexity. Simplicity is going to be one of the biggest irony about simplicity itself is that it is always considered to be synonymous with complexity. It is, of course, not. Any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent, but it takes a touch of genius and, of course, a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. Clutter and confusion are failures of design, not attributes of creating a building block of information and knowledge that moves towards solution and simplification. Because the moment it is going to be cluttered and confused, there is absolutely no possibility whatsoever that a solution and a simplified solution can be there. For every problem, there is a solution which is simple, clean, or, of course, it can be wrong as well. There is nothing that is true, but that is not simple. Only simple things can be true. Simplicity is a bigger achievement than most of these virtues, because simplicity is being in consonance with your thinking, attitude, perception, and action. What you think is what you say, is how you act. That's simplicity. If you like a good watch and you wear it, that is simplicity. If you like to portray yourself to be simple and you are wearing a Rolex, that is not simple. If you like to dress well and you dress well, that is simple. But if you like to dress well and you are in a torn jeans and a kurta, masquerading as a communist, that is complex. Simplicity is freedom from cluttered thoughts. This is largely because too many variables don't go into act. You're always strong with your basics. That is, you're free from all cluttering. You're free from cluttering of your thoughts. Simplicity is truth, transparency, and the ability to defend the truth. Because what is truth will be simple, what is simple will be always true. Simplicity is being oneself, what you are, and how you go on to see yourself, and how is it that you portray yourself. That is simplicity. And all the people who are simple are very, very bold as well. Simplicity is also the ultimate glamour. There's nothing more glamorous than simplicity. There's nothing more beautiful than simplicity. Simplicity is being happy as well and being in love with oneself. It's not about you go on to be determining yourself with the help of the perception of the whole of the world. You're loving with yourself because you know what you are. And therefore, simplicity builds trust. Simplicity builds bonds, and simplicity eases communication. But to be simple requires strength, because one has to be true to expose themselves. You get to deal not by building a facade, but by being true. And this requires courage. Thus, to be simple requires being open, And this is what transparency requires. You cannot be closed and then think of it being simple. To be simple requires being adaptable, as one can understand oneself and limits to change. That is, how many changes that you can go on to acquire, or is it that you are always going to be fluid? Remember the book Fluid. That means you are malleable, you are adaptable, and without troubling yourself. That's the biggest sign. All those people who are adaptable, they are the one who are strong. And that's the reason why we say it's not the strongest of the species that survives. It is the most adaptable of the species that survive. So you don't want to only survive, you survive more than survive. So to be simple requires being progressive, as it allows people to classify themselves. They understand they are under this category, under a specific category. They are in the category of, let's say, a coach, or they are a teacher, or they are a trainer, or they are a mentor, or they are categorized under they are a friend or a lover, or they are categorized under will they be a development politician, electoral politician, intellectual politician, or a manipulative politician, or a caste politician, or a community politician. It allows greater self-understanding, because the understanding of oneself is always better. It allows to classify oneself, and uncluttering releases a lot of creativity. Most of the simple people are the most creative people of all, because it prevents one from being involved in anything that is undesirable, anything that is outside their domain, anything that they can't go on to handle, because they understand themselves much more better. It doesn't allow to get bogged because of undesirable perception. And such type of a consonance of traits, one with the other, is what exactly is the trait of the strong. Simplicity is not the trait of the weak. It is not a trait of the uneducated. A perception-driven or judgmental people who are the weakest people. Anyone you come across who is perception-driven, who is opinionated, who follows a herd mentality, who doesn't go to know the process of coming to a logic and conclusion, are always going to be complicated. They are weak, because that is the reason that they are followers. They cannot go on to be a part of the leaders. They are always going to be masses, and they will always be part of the masses. Therefore, it is said that in character, in manners, in style, in everything, the supreme excellence is simplicity. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and therefore it is simplicity that actually wins in the long run. It is simplicity that is sustainable. Cluttering, confusion, and complexity is not at all sustainable.
To have more such discussions and analysis, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications on our upcoming videos.